Give me a thought on him. Why he was so great at what he did.
He's an old radio guy, you know, from Minnesota, and he was quick on his feet, and you know, he had the charisma, you know, and he could sell. He could sell the deal, man. He got it. He understood the business, and you know, Mean Gene was just really good. He was like my running mate for about 20 years, and sometimes in my sleep I hear myself going, "Let me tell you something, Mean Gene." I mean, that's how I started out every interview, you know, and so. Yeah, Gino's awesome.
Were you good in broadcasting or just talking as a kid? Because I mean, you had that natural gift that very few have. I mean,
no, I'd never really.
Did you practice it or anything?
No, I didn't. But when I was playing music, I remember we had all these guys in the band that could sing and all this stuff. But man, I was horrible. I mean, you know, it was the best thing for you to do is turn my microphone off. But in between songs, I was the one that could talk to the crowd and have the rapport with the crowd. So when I got in the wrestling business, I stole a little bit of something from a bunch of guys in the business, from Billy Graham, from Dusty Rhodes, and from a lot of wrestlers that had a rap down. And so I kind of mixed everything up and turned it into my own, and I just had to actually believe what I was saying, you know, and it's like telling a story, you know, and if you didn't really tell the story and believe it as you were saying it, it didn't work. So I got real good at storytelling, you know, and so that's how I did my interviews. I just tell a story.
Real quickly, this event coming up at the Family Arena, it's going to be April 18th. You're going to be there. You're not going to be wrestling, I don't think, but tell me why this is going to be a great event for St. Louis at the Family Arena.
Well, I hope I don't get drug into the mix, but I mean, this is a huge pay-per-view. It's called Lockdown. It's all the matches are in steel cages, and TNA's on a roll, man. This is a big event for us, and we're getting unbelievable momentum. We're on one more Thursday night on Spike TV from 9 to 11, and then after that, it's March 8th. We're on Monday nights, and we're going head-to-head against Vince McMahon. And the last time I was in this situation, I worked for Ted Turner, and after 6 months, we were spanking him every week for 2.5 years until, you know, American Online merged, and Turner basically was my guy that got put to the back of the bus. But it's kind of like making history again, you know. There's a huge buzz with TNA. They do all kind of things right. They got great people. And all of a sudden now, in such a short amount of time, to be going Monday nights head-to-head, when I first walked in the door of this company, it wasn't even a possibility the day I walked in. And now all of a sudden, we're launching Monday nights, you know, March 8th. It's huge, and everybody wins. I mean, I don't want, you know, anything bad to happen to Vince McMahon. I want them to stay in business. I want them to keep doing what they're doing. I just want to do something different. I want to produce a better product, and the fans win. The fans have a great choice now on Monday nights, and for the guys in the business of talent, they have huge choices now. So it's a win-win all the way around, but it definitely is going to make things more interesting and make wrestling fun how it used to be.
All right, we got about a minute before we go to Vancouver for this Olympic update. The best wrestler you've ever been in the ring with, who would it be that you knew you were going to be in for a battle?
Andre. I mean, you couldn't do anything with him. Plus, he understood the business. He didn't talk. He didn't choreograph anything. Last time I wrestled him, I go, Andre, what are we going to do in there? Don't worry, boss. You know, he was the best. He had that instinct, the feel, and he was always, you know, the showstopper, the main eventer, always.
Did you ever have a beer with him afterwards? The Sports Illustrated said it was a case of beer every night.
It was more than that, brother. It was a couple fists of Crown Royal and about 20 or 30 bottles of wine. The one story I always tell is when he came through Tampa, he was changing planes. I went and met him at the airport and went to the Delta Lounge, and in 1 hour he drank 108 beers. You know,
you saw 108 beers?
Yeah, he drank 108 beers in an hour. You know?
And could he still?
Oh, it didn't even faze him. He was dialed in. He had a lot of practice. He was a great guy.
All right, do we have something for the Hulkster to read as we go to break here?
Jimmy, I can't even read your writing.
Wait a minute.
Writing?
Hey, I'm pleading the fifth. I didn't write that, by the way.
That's the Mouth of the South, by the way. The great Jimmy Hart with us in studio.
KFNS. Frank, how do you say your last name?
Cusumano.
Cusumano. Cusumano. Is this for me? On K. Did you write this, Jimmy?
No, I didn't write it, Huckster. You know I use crayons.
Go ahead.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Hey, yo, St. Louis Hulkamaniacs, this is Hulk Hogan, the greatest of all time, and I'm hanging and banging with the press box in Frank Cusumano on 590 The Fan, KFNS, and KFNS.com. So what you gonna do when Frankomania and Hulk Hogan and The Fan run wild on you, brother?
Oh, you only needed one take. That was awesome. We'll take a break. We'll finish up with the Hulk right after this.
All right.
Cool.
We are back. This is the press box. A couple of minutes left with Hulk Hogan. By the way, he's going to be on Channel 5 with us at about 12:30 today. If you want to take a look, boy, you're in great shape. You're in unbelievable physical shape right now, right?
Well, you know, I work out every day. I've had a lot of surgeries. I had, 3 back surgeries this year, and I didn't realize, that when those nerves get pinched off and stuff, when you talk about atrophying and losing your legs, that was the thing that kind of, really got me this year. Was after the 3 back surgeries, I pretty much lost my foundation. My legs have just atrophied, and that's the toughest part, because then biomechanically, with knee replacements and hip replacements like I have, and then have the back surgeries, you kind of like get real wobbly dobbly. Every foot is every time you take a step, it's calculated, because it's just weird when all those nerves get pinched off, that how you lose stuff,
Do you have a thought on why we have had so many wrestlers die at a young age?
Yeah, it's guys that can't separate themselves, from the character. Guys that buy into that. A lot of wrestlers, that are in this business are very well educated guys with college educations and businessmen, but then a lot of the guys aren't. A lot of the guys are, roughnecks and good athletes from other genres, and I just think so many of these guys buy into, the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Rick lives at 24 hours a day, but he's okay with it. He's a mature individual, and he understands, and bumps happen along the way, but he's not bought. He knows who Ric Flair is, and he knows who the Nature Boy is. So many guys in this business get caught up in that character. That's their whole life. And when I go home, I take the bandana off the bald head. I don't wear the red and yellow colors, and I'm Terry Bollea. And I've always separated myself. I see so many guys with the fast money and the fast business and all the things that are attainable, from the choices morally to the drugs and everything else, that when they don't have that income and they're taken out of the spotlight.
Awesome. Final thought. Let's say there's a little boy downtown, or where you're going to be going next, and he doesn't really know who you are, and he says to the dad, "Who is that man right there, that big strong guy with the blonde hair?" What would you want the father to tell the son?
Well, he probably would, on a surface level, say, "Hey, that's probably the greatest wrestler of all time that I used to watch when I was a little kid." But at the end of the day, I would hope that he would tell his son that that's a very good man there. That's what I would hope for.
God bless you, sir. Thanks so much.
Brother.
It's been an honor. The great Hulk Hogan on the press box on 590 The Fan, KFNS. He'll be at Mike Shannon's today, 2 to 4. They're going to set a record. Most mustaches in one place. Remember, TNA, March 8th. And remember, the lockdown tickets go on sale at the Family Arena. That big match is coming April 18th. We'll take a break. Jeff.